Coming up,
That didn't go quite how I expected.
I have a good idea.
And I don't know if this is possible, but this is my plan.
I remove Bedrock,
Yeah, we got rid of a whole bunch of bedrock already.
and hopefully it's just a glitch.
Hopefully that's just a glitch.
Let's create. In the last episode, I built this amazing Cyberpunk subway. It's an interdimensional subway system that basically runs this amazing train all the way from my starter base to this base area and over to the shopping area. But that's all I've got at this main base area, and today I want to change that. I want to start building above ground, doing some terraforming, adding in buildings, and even adding in my storage system and some power. But before we can do that, there is a big old problem. A massive problem that I didn't explain at the end of the last video. And that is that this nether subway system doesn't actually work. I mean, it does. It does the exact job I want it to do, but it doesn't take me with it. Let me demonstrate. In my hand, I have 3 packages. Each one is addressed to the different areas that this subway can take me to. We're currently at Foxy's base, and if I want to go to Foxy's starter base, I pick that package, pop it into that letterbox, take a seat, pick it back out again, and we start moving. We start moving through the nether portal just like so, and once we get to the other side, I just sit here in this block, stuck inside the portal. There's absolutely nothing I can do about it. And then when I hop back through the portal, I do appear on the train in the right place. But if I don't move, I'm just stuck there forever. Similarly, if I then put the package to actually go back to my base into there and take it out again, you'll see exactly the same thing happens. As we go through the first portal, this time I actually stayed in the train, although the train has now collected some magenta glass from the portal, which it shouldn't have done. For some reason, the train is also going incredibly slowly, much more slowly than it normally does. And this time, yes, I actually made it to the subway. Well, that's an improvement. Let's try going over to the shopping area by putting this one in and then taking it back out again, and let's see what happens this time as we go through the portal. Am I going to stay in it? No, I'm just here in front of the portal again, and I'm just going to stand here and stand here and stand here, and I'm not going to actually end up going through the portal. See, nothing happens. Until eventually, when the train goes through the other portal, I do eventually pop back in again. So it does work, but it also doesn't. And I don't like it. I really don't like how that works. The other problem with this system is the fact that my portals link up with other people's. Not these ones, but these ones, which I originally planned to use. And whilst these are now disconnected, unfortunately it does mean that the portal over at the honey shop does still connect to the wrong one. If we hop through this portal here, we end up back at my subway train, which is not ideal, because whoever owns the honey shop, I think it's Azu, is not going to be happy when they're popping in and out of the nether in the wrong place. They're going to get all sorts of confused. So realistically, I think the only thing I can do is transform this from an interdimensional subway system to a singular dimensional subway system. Basically, remove the nether portals, have it go through the overworld. And that's fine in theory. Oh my goodness me, what's happened to this? Hopefully that's just a glitch. Yeah, see, there are other problems with this system as well. For some reason, it affects contraptions that are near the nether portals that I'm going through, because that's the front of my train, which has taken over some... What? Oh. Phew, that's better. After a quick relog, that's gone back to normal, but it does appear there are some bugs with Create 6, or more importantly, Create 6.10. Anyway, as I was saying, adding in an underground monorail rather than an interdimensional one is fine in theory, but in reality it could cause a massive problem, because not only is it a huge distance that I've got to travel, you see, it'd have to go underground all the way under the area near the shopping area, past these mountains, down this valley, underneath here, under this mountain, all the way to where it would join my existing subway here. And then it would have to come out the other side and go underneath this mountain range, all the way past here, all the way past Chosen's base, and all the way to my starter area, which might not seem far, but it's a very long way. And whilst that's possible to do, there are potentially a lot of things already underground that I'd have to contend with and avoid and go round, and it's just going to be a headache. And speaking of headaches, that's not my only problem, because you see today the server is overloaded. It's running behind, it is lagging out, and that is because, if the chunks can load, come on, I know you're struggling this morning, it is kind of my fault, but also not. It is because Kev came by to get his retaliation on me while I wasn't online, and he has been spawning many cardboard packages. Yeah, the server isn't very happy at all. So before I do anything at all, I've got to clean up this mess. Unfortunately for me, rather than just having to punch them all individually and get all of the bread out, there is an easier way to deal with this. And to do that, I'm going to need a whole bunch of blocks in order to pile up as high as these towers of packages. Just like that. Then I can come over here, just angle my blocks right above them. And if I create a bit of a spread around here like this, directly above them, put a block there and put some water on it, hopefully that will flow down and pretty much get all of the packages, and it should, yes, it will destroy them. Wonderful. It's not quite got them all. I do need it to come over into these corners as well. So let's just enhance the spread. There we go. Lovely job. Bit more this way, ideally, please, if you wouldn't mind. Yep, that's going to get those ones a little bit more over here. That should get both of those ones. And then we need it a little bit more this way as well. Lovely, that's getting all of those. And now that's getting all of those. And you can already see the water is flowing a whole bunch faster than it was as these all disappear. And I can see on my other screen that the server is no longer complaining at me that it can't keep up. Now I just got to pick up the water, destroy all of this mess that I've made, which is why I use the industrial iron, because it's easy to pick up, destroy my tower, and then just go round with a bucket of water, trying my best to get rid of as many of these packages as possible. Oh, that was quite satisfying. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, that's a good one, that one. There we go. All of the packages are now gone. The server's behaving nicely again, and the water is nearly finished going away. Well, at least that's one of my problems solved. The next problem I'm going to solve has got absolutely nothing to do with the problems that I'm facing today, i.e. my monorail. It has to do with where I left off in my last video, building my Glowsquid farm. You see, we built this big old tower of blocks. I've still got the drills at the very top of it. And right down at the bottom here, we have a Glowsquid farm, which is currently just whirring away, collecting me Glowsquid, and it does it even when I'm not here. And the reason it does it while I'm not here is because we have a friend of mine hiding away behind these grates. It is, of course, Chuckloader, one of my old characters, basically an AFK account, and they're just going to stay there as long as I need them to while this thing generates Glowsquid. But what this thing doesn't do is do anything with those items, i.e. get them from down there up to a storage system which doesn't exist yet, and I actually have no easy way of getting down here. And I want that to change. Oh, and also, I haven't actually gone around lighting up all of the caves and things around this thing yet, so we can get Glowsquid spawning in other areas like this little pool of water here. So I want to fix that as well. So first things first, let's go to the top, and I'm going to extend my elevator shaft all the way down to that point there and get it linked up. But the first thing I want to do is actually finish off this shaft, put the light blocks around the side instead of just stained glass, and get rid of the contraption at the top. And so there we go. We've now got a ceiling, we've got lighting going all the way down, apart from the very last line, which if I put it in here, it would actually make this not complete darkness, and that means Glowsquids wouldn't spawn. But before I deal with the cave lighting, it's time I got my elevator down to where I want it. And so just a short while later, that's exactly what we've got here, and it looks a little bit odd, and that's because in order to get the deployers to deploy where they need to, they all need to stack on top of each other. So we've got this higgledy-piggledy stack of deployers. They're all glued together. We've got our drills at the bottom, and in this chest over here, we've got all the blocks we need to create this elevator. I just took a schematic of what already existed in here, and I've just copied it down. So yeah, there's no reason why we can't attach this to that rope pulley and get it going. And again, like last time, I actually want this to work from higher up so that it can repeat the pattern that's already there. So let's move the rope pulley to the top. Then we're going to stick on a gear shift so we can change its direction, a clutch so we can turn it on and off, put those on there and turn them on. Then we can just squirrel a little bit of the power we've got from over there, bring it up here like this. Oh, it's not quite in line. That's annoying. Oh well, stick a gearbox on, and then let's test what direction that's going to go in. Oh, yeah, that is going to go down. Let's get it on and attached, and then reverse it. There we go. And then we'll go. Or not. Has it got stuck? What's happened? Oh dear, what did I do? Why is it stuck? Did I manage to get it stuck to something it's not supposed to stick to? That's not impossible. I wonder if the glue's gone onto the rope pulley. No, it hasn't. So what's it stuck on? Well, that's weird. Let's just slow it down for a second and see if we can get this thing to respond. Let's just break that shaft and then replace that shaft, and nothing. The power is definitely turning. Let's put that back there. It does not want to push it down. Okay, I've got an idea. We're going to go one block further up, put that back there, move all of this a block up, gear shift clutch, lever, gear shift down, and there we go. Now it's going to go, and it should build the walls as it goes, which it is doing. But is it going to follow the pattern? It's stopped again. Why have you stopped? Oh, is it because the chests are trying to push through the floor? Huh. Okay, right. In that case then, let's get rid of these chests. Well, this is the most higgledy-piggledy mess thing I've ever made. Oh, make an elevator maker, FoxyNoTail. Yeah, that I'm going to. Don't you worry about it, guys. Okay, the chests are somewhat organised now. This is going to mean I'm going to have to do a little bit of re-gluing. So let's just bring that glue over here. And then we just need to glue all of the chests on. That's all of those glued on there. We, of course, now need to move our rope pulley over to this corner. Just about there should do it. Spin it round. Throw on a gear shift. Throw on a clutch. Throw in a shaft. Stick on some levers. Flick that the other way round. That's going to start going down again. Is it going to work? It appears to be, but we have missed bits due to the fact that it's gone down. So let's just bring it back up so it can fill in the holes that it's missed. There we go. And then send it back down again. Now we can speed it up. And this should have my elevator drilled in no time. It appears to be working. So I guess now I'm going to need an actual elevator to run down this thing. Well, it seems to have just gone past the level where Chuck is currently AFK. It is still going down, and we do need it to be in line with at least the bottom of the Glowsquid tank, which is down here. And I guess it wouldn't hurt to have it go all the way down to the bottom of the world, because we are going to be doing mining over here at some point. So I think I'm just going to let it go until it completely stops. And there we go. It's reached the bottom. It's done a good job filling all the way down there. So let's wind it back up and see what goodies we got. Stop. Oh, jeez. I didn't stop it quite in time. Oh, well. We've got to replace a couple of blocks. And it doesn't look like we got any goodies. We just got a whole bunch of junk. Oh, well, not to worry. Cutting forward a little bit, I've changed my mind. I wasn't overly happy with this sort of pattern we had going down the elevator shaft. I mean, this one to the Glowsquid farm looks okay, but I feel like the elevator shaft should be a lot more dystopian and cyberpunky, so I've completely redesigned it, and now this is what it looks like. It's a big old mess of weathered iron crates and grates and blocks and fences, and it goes all the way down with these light bars at the front. And I've even dug out a couple of spots where we're going to be going through and meeting Chuck in our AFK spot, as well as one a little bit further down, which is going to link up with where we're collecting our items for our Glowsquid farm. And we have a few in here now, and I think this design is just so much better. It fits the vibe a lot more, and it's a lot less square and boring, but it still doesn't have an elevator. It's just an elevator shaft. So let's go and make one. Oh, and I forgot to mention I've decorated this room that's at the bottom of the big old staircase that we've got coming down. All I've done is thrown a few blocks in, made a little room here that we can use for some sort of temporary storage or crafting system, and I've just moved all of the bits and bobs that I had for making this tunnel over here to keep them out of the way. But anyway, for an elevator we're going to need redstone contacts, we're going to need contraption controls, which I can craft pretty easily, and we're going to need an elevator pulley, which I can also craft pretty easily. The elevator pulley, of course, is going to have to go right at the top of the elevator shaft where we've actually got this soul lantern, so let's just throw that on there. That is going to need power, so we're going to need power up here, but on the other side of the very top of this, next to my subway, we've actually got a couple of water wheels in the wall that are doing absolutely nothing, so perhaps we can use those to power that elevator pulley. To build the elevator at this layer here, I'm actually going to have to remove these light blocks so that I can get in, because I want to make the floor of this elevator out of copycat panels. They're going to be the grate blocks, and then to maximize space inside the elevator, we're actually going to use copycat boards for the walls. We can once again use the copycat panels for the roof of our elevator. However, we want this one on the inside, and that's so it will easily hook up to our elevator pulley. And I think for the corners, ooh, that doesn't look very good because they're 3D blocks. We'll go with the weathered iron. We'll have more grates on the ceiling, and I think we'll go for grates around the edges as well, so we can see through this thing somewhat. In fact, I think what I actually want is grates on the entire top level of this and a solid looking bottom, and that way we'll be able to see through this nicely as it's going up and down. I'm going to place some temporary blocks just at the sides here so that I can throw more copycat boards up on the inside of those. Then we can get rid of these blocks, we no longer need them, and now we've just got to attach redstone contacts. So we're going to come underneath these controls, break that block there, break that one there, and we're going to put a redstone contact in there and one facing it that way, which does make the floor look a little bit rubbish, but it's fine. Then we can put the contraption controls back on there. Now we just need a door, and for that I'm going to make a copycat sliding door. I'm going to pop it on that block there, put the weathered iron at the bottom and the grate at the top, and now we can open and close that, and that should automatically open and close whenever we end up at the right platform. So there we go, our elevator is now in place. We just need power to it. Throw our shaft into there like that, and we'll just bring some chain drive down the back of this. Now we're going to need a speed controller. I'm going to actually move that across to there like that so we can put our speed controller there. We just need to join that to this. Let's spin that one round, bring across some chain drive like that, and you'd never know that that's been interfered with. Right, now our elevator should work now. Contraption unable to assemble. It requires a horizontal redstone contact attached to the... Oh, I haven't glued it together. Well, that would help. And speaking of redstone contacts, we're also going to need one directly opposite this. Let's just throw one in the wall there, run back down to the elevator, and get this thing glued together. So we just want to glue from there to there, and hopefully that will get everything. Yeah, there we go. It's attached. Amazing. Here it is at the very top. Let's go in. We'll select -1. Click that. The doors close, and we are going down. That's amazing. Right, I need to send it back up, put the little light blocks back on here, get rid of that excess glue, which apparently hasn't been used. And now I just need to put the redstone contacts on all of the other ones further down. That's -2, good. That's -3, and then I'm going to throw one all the way down at the bottom as well. Well, why not? -4. Wonderful. So now we can travel all the way down to any of the layers we want, and we can go and check on how our Glowsquid farm's doing on -3, and we get there in no time. And when we arrive at the bottom, the door automatically opens. We can hop out, go and see what's in our little box. Ooh, a bunch more. And so the system works. And that's good, because I've got so much more to do today than building pesky little elevators. I need to get on with the rest of the stuff. But before I do, I am going to make these elevators callable, and I'm going to do it in a really simple way, rather than using redstone links and all that sort of stuff. If I just put a button on the actual redstone contact, it's barely visible, and when I click it, the elevator will come up to the level that I want it to. So then I can go down to all of the different levels and put the buttons on those, and then I'll be able to call it from wherever I am, just in case it's not on the same level as me. And there we go. The elevator is now 100% complete, and it can go down to every different level, and we have a button on every different level so we can call it. Wonderful. Now it's time to finally get my storage moved over from my starter base and get it over here, which means that I need to... Where is my subway? I guess I leave it at the shop. I can't remember. But yeah, we need to set up a system to actually get it onto the subway car, over to here, and then unload it into a new storage system. And for that new storage system, I've had some ideas that might work, or they might not. No, it's not there. Did I leave it over at the shopping area? Ah, yes I did. Okay, well, it's time to see if this thing can actually get me back all the way to my starter base. So let's throw that in there, take it back out again, and see what happens. And it looks like, yes, we've arrived in the nether without falling out. We've killed a pigman, which is absolutely fine. Are we going to then appear in the subway successfully and then make it back through? Yes, that worked. And oh, this bit worked. We've got the glass stuck to it again, but that worked. And what about the final one? Is this going to work? It did! Oh, well, that's good. Maybe I don't have to completely destroy the overworld in order to remove these portals and make this a singular dimensional railway instead of an interdimensional railway. Subway. You know what I mean. Right, anyway, we need to get all of my storage, which is up there, onto this, and then drop it off at the other end. And if we look directly above us, you'll see we're directly below my vaults. So getting the storage down here won't be a problem, but it is going to be a problem getting it onto our subway car because this currently has no way of interacting with items. Right, that means we're going to have to disassemble this train. Hopefully it won't smash all of the blocks that it's somewhat closely connected to. It didn't. Good. Now we need to figure out where we're actually going to put this interface. Potentially right at the back, just there. That should work, and then that will actually be able to connect to one directly below it there. I think that's the way we're going to do it. So now I can turn this back into an actual train. That has connected, so I just need to push all my items into it and get this thing on its way. So hopping upstairs into the storage system, it would make sense to actually grab those items from as close to this belt as possible, because then we can just let everything out and let it go straight down there. So I'm going to break this belt, dig down here at the bottom of this one, and that looks to me Yes, like it's... Oh, look at that. That is perfect. Okay, getting the items into this interface should be pretty easy. We're going to need a belt running across here like this. We need another belt going into that from... Actually, not there. We need it actually a block back there like that. In order to power both of those, we're going to need a gearbox there. And then we're going to need a whole bunch of chutes going all the way up to the top of this hole. And I'm going to use normal chutes for the most of it. And then right at the top, we're going to have a smart chute so it can force 64 items at a time down there. And then we just need to power this belt. And we do have power just there. We need to put an andesite funnel on there to accept the items. And that's it. All I've got to do now is just remove that filter and all of my items are going to start coming out and get loaded onto our train, which as you can see they are doing. So that's the easy part done. Now the hard part. Not only have we got to set up a schedule for this conductor so we can actually take the items backwards and forwards to our new base, we also need to set up a storage system over there to accept the items. And that's where things are going to get complicated, because I've been having ideas. So, before we do anything else... Oh, the barrel is full. I was going to say let's travel over there. I'm going to have to do that. There we go. That worked. I killed another pigman. Is it going to work? Yes-ish? Kinda. Well, it sort of worked. Yeah, anyway, I don't want the storage here. As much as I want to access my storage from here, I don't want my storage here at all. And that's because storage is quite laggy. Lots of vaults, lots of contraptions, lots of frogs and packages and package ports and things like that. And because I'm planning on having a big old cyberpunk steampunk city in this area, I want to minimize all of the things that are going to cause lag. So I've had an idea for storage to make it 100% not laggy. I just don't know if it's going to work. So in order to test that, we're going to escape from here and hop over to a single-player test world. So let's start with something easy, the fundamentals of a storage system. We need a blaze burner to act as our shopkeeper, we need a stock ticker, and we need an output chest where we'll grab our items. We also need some form of storage system with the packager on it. We need a stock link connected to our stock ticker, and this will take items out of our vault as we request them as packages, send them over to here where they'll be unpackaged and put into the chest. And if I throw a creative crate on top of this vault so that we can actually put some items in there, you'll see when I go to my stock ticker, we've got a whole bunch of cobble. If I select a stack of that and click send, everything that I said should happen. The package goes across, goes into there, and then we can access our cobblestone. Nice and easy. That's the simplest version of how these storage systems work. But of course, if I'm going to have that attached to an absolute ton of vaults and things, enough for an entire season's worth of storage, that's going to get laggy quick. So I want my storage in a place that's not going to be laggy, not going to cause me any problems at all, but still accessible quickly. And whilst I could move it off into a chunk far, far away, the further it is away, the longer it's going to take for the items to get from this storage system to my chest where I can access them, and I don't want to be waiting ages for my items. So instead of having my vaults far, far away, what if they were in a different dimension? And I don't know if this is possible, but this is my plan. So let's make ourselves a very basic nether portal, hop ourselves through, make a little bit of space, throw ourselves a storage vault down in here, throw on a belt facing into the portal, stick a packager on it, link that packager to our stock network, get some items into that vault, stick a funnel on the packager, make that motor go nice and quickly, and then just in case, let's just put some blocks on the other side of that portal, just in case the packagers happen to somehow manage to fly off and go out past it. It shouldn't happen, but it might. Now let's go back through. Let's see if it connects. It can't see that there's wood in there. That could be because that's just unloaded. So if we go back through and create ourselves a little network here, we can see, yes, there are logs in there and it can see the cobblestone from the overworld as well. But it can't see it the other way round. And that could be a problem if it wasn't for the fact that we've got something called FTB chunks, which I can then force load. I can force load this chunk so it always stays loaded even when no one's here. And then when I pop myself back through into the overworld, we should be able to see on here, yes, we can see my oak logs. So we can now see those items. So if I was to call for some of those oak logs and press send, we should see those, hopefully, come flying out of the nether portal, which we didn't. That's quite concerning. They're not here. They're not anywhere. Let's just stop this thing going in so we can monitor the levels of this. There are currently 17,000 oak logs in there. Let's just call a bunch and click send. Well, that went through the portal. And this time they are. Okay, bit weird. Let's try that again. Let's ask for a stack, see what happens. Ah, and a package arrived, but it does stay stuck on the portal. And that's not ideal. Okay, go back through. We're going to do a bit of jiggery pokery. I'm actually going to have to make this vault a little bit smaller. And now what I've done is just moved the vault back a little bit. I've extended the belt, added an unpackaging system here so that instead of the packages coming through the portal, this time it should send the items. So let's just do a quick test from here. Let's ask for a stack. They should go in there. Yep, that went straight through. That was very fast. So let's see what happens on the other side. If I request a stack of logs from here and have a look at this, they should come flying out, but they didn't. And it appears the reason why is because I've force loaded the wrong chunk. Now it should work. Let's go back through, request some more items, and hopefully now we'll see them come through. There we go. Let's ask for a whole bunch, send them through, and there we go. Look at that. The items are coming out of the portal almost as quickly as if they were coming from that vault there. Now we've just got to catch them and bring them into our storage chest, which should be as simple as that. A couple of belts on the back of the portal, a couple of funnels and a chest there. So now when I call for, let's say, 4 stacks of oak logs, they should go in there pretty quickly. Amazing. So now we have a completely lag-free storage solution that we can implement in our base. However, where our magically no longer invisible subway train is coming to drop off the items is not in the Nether. And that means we need a system to also get items from the overworld into our storage system in the Nether so that we can then get them out of there again. So we are going to need an offloading system in here, but before we do that, we're going to need a Nether-based storage system. And that leads me to a whole bunch of other things that I need to do in the Nether. Because if things go well with these systems, my storage isn't the only thing I'm going to be keeping here. And that means I need to reserve the area in the Nether around where my base is. And that might not go down ever so well with some of the members because my base just happens to be exactly where the Nether fortress is. And I want to remove it. In fact, I want to remove all of this stuff. And I want to even remove everything on the Nether roof as well in this area, putting up a massive wall to say, don't build in here, that's Fox's. And that's going to be tricky. Because first of all, I'm going to have to work out where the bounds of my actual base are in the overworld, calculate the coordinates of what that is in the Nether, and then destroy everything, and then put up a wall, and then break through the bedrock in the city. Oh my goodness, I have got so much to do. Okay, I've done a bunch of figuring out. I've even done a bunch of digging in the Nether. I can say from about this corner here to right out past my render distance, beyond the cherry grove trees over here, to around about there where that hole is in the ground, that's a big area, doesn't give us very much room at all. And just to recap on the map, pretty much from all the way over here to all the way down here, gives us this box. It's tiny. It's about 40 blocks by 40 blocks big. It's not very big at all, which is good for the fact that I need to reserve it and dig it all out to make it accessible, but it's not ideal for the fact that I have a lot of plans to put things in the Nether and there's not an awful lot of room. So I think I might have to expand it a bit, at least pushing it out to all of the chunk borders. And looking at our claimed chunks, that probably means I'm going to be claiming something like that, which again is not huge, but it'll have to do. And the next thing I need to do is get on the roof and break this bedrock, the unbreakable block. It can't be broken. Or can it? It can. And according to my comments, it has something to do with breaking the piston head. So let's see if I can figure it out. If I was to put my mechanical piston there, stick a shaft coming out of it, get it to extend one block, put another shaft there and then break the head of it, now it doesn't work at all. I think I'm going to have to do some research. Hey! I know that guy. And watching this video, I was almost right. You do need pistons, and it is to do with removing the pistons' heads. But it's not mechanical pistons, it's just normal pistons. You basically power the pistons, and then using the create wrench and the little toggleable wheel thing to rotate the blocks, you just rotate the pistons facing down. Once you've done an entire line of them and then retracted them, all of a sudden the bedrock below them is gone. And that sounds pretty tedious, but also pretty easy. So, Yeah, we don't need that at all. We do, however, need to get to the roof. And I'm kind of hoping the old ladder and ender pearl trick still works. I've got some copycat ladders. I have some ender pearls. Let's find out. We need to get to a point in the nether roof where it's the highest it can possibly be, which it looks like this one here. So let's chuck some ladders onto there, like that, even though that one's invisible. We'll climb up the ladders, and then I believe you just ender pearl. There we go. And we pop out in the nether roof. Wonderful. Now we need to figure out the extent of where we're going to be demolishing this bedrock. And that is basically going to be from that corner there over to this corner here. And of course, because it's in the nether, my render distance isn't very high. Use fog off. There we go. Now we can see lots on the nether roof, and we're not that far away from other people's stuff. So we can't expand too far out, but at least we'll have a reasonable amount of room to start with. Now I'm going to need a whole bunch of pistons. And I have 48 already, which I don't think is going to be enough, but let's find out. It is not. Fortunately, I have everything on me that I'm going to need to craft some more. So I've just craft a whole bunch more. Carry on placing them all down. Now we need to get them all powered. So I'm just going to pop down a bit of redstone behind them all, throw down a handful of levers, and there we go. That's all of the pistons powered. And now it's time for the really boring bit. You have to hold this down and click that, and hold this down and click that, and hold this down and click that, and hold this down and click that. Oh my goodness, this is going to take forever. And there we go. That's the last one. So now all I gotta do is turn all the levers off to unextend the pistons, and hopefully when I remove them, yeah, we got rid of a whole bunch of bedrock already. I've just got to do this another 64 times across the entire length of that. And then I need to repeat that entire thing again at least 5 more times in order to get down the full depth of the bedrock. And that's something that I just don't have the patience to do. At least not right now. I've got too many other things that are much more important than breaking bedrock. What I will do for now, however, is continue marking out the area that I want to remove the bedrock, just so that the other players know that they shouldn't be fiddling with this area and building things on it. And I'm pretty sure that's a good way of explaining to people that that area is reserved. And now I can get on with something a bunch more fun. And once again, I'm gonna need an awful lot of drills. But rather than crafting them this time, I'm going to cave and go shopping at Chosen's Mall. Right, Chosen, where are your drills, my friend? You're out of stock? I guess I am going to be crafting them then. In which case, I'm going to need to go and buy an awful lot of iron, as well as some more andesite alloy. So at the andesite alloy shop, I'm just going to grab an absolute bunch of these. Thank you very much. Lovely job. In fact, you know what? I'm going to have a bunch more. A double chest worth should be a good start. Is it so cheap? Do you know what? I want even more than that. Let's grab another double chest worth. There we go. Now we've got plenty. Now I just need to go to the iron shop, and I believe Imagineer Dave is selling iron. I know Stam is. A diamond for 64 iron blocks? Oh, I can only have the single chest worth. Well, that's fine. More than I need. And now, once again, I can craft a whole bunch of drills. And some dark metal blocks, apparently. Can I turn those back? No. Oh well. Ooh, they're quite nice though. And now that we've got all these drills, we can add them to the drills I've already been adding down here when I ran out. And I'm not going to be drilling out the entire area that I've claimed. I'm actually just going to be doing a 2x2 chunk area, because first of all, if I go too big, the drills will just vanish and disappear and create all sorts of lag as I'm trying to drill them. They won't actually disappear, they'll just visibly disappear, which makes it difficult to know where they are and what they're trying to smash. And the other reason is I don't exactly know how much of this entire area we need right now, so I'm just going to get rid of the bits that I absolutely know I need. And believe it or not, that wasn't enough drills. I still need a whole bunch more. Let's say maybe another 4 stacks should do it. Yes, it did. Wow, that's a lot of drills. And so we are now ready to completely obliterate 4 chunks of the nether. We're going to be drilling straight down through this nether fortress, through all of this netherrack, all the way down to the bottom. Ideally, avoiding my subway, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful. But let's do this. That is a big tower in the Nether. Jeez, it goes all the way from bedrock to bedrock. It's absolutely huge. And I've used an entire trial chamber's worth of copper in this. Not only have I used all of my oxidized copper, but I actually had to convert all of my normal copper as well to make this thing work, and it is absolutely ridiculous. All the way down to bedrock, all the way up to bedrock. You just can't fathom the scale of it from here. So back up at the top, let's go inside and see what's going on. Because there are floors in this. There is a floor every 10 blocks, which means we've got over 12 floors because there are 128 blocks from the roof to the bottom of the Nether. And at the very bottom floor, we're actually filling this thing up with lava from the lava lake to the side so that we've got an infinite lava source. Because, of course, on our first floor, we're going to need a power station, then we're going to need some storage, then we're going to have room for farms and stuff. Oh my goodness, this place is going to be very useful. However, speaking of storage, we need to make sure that when we link our storage up to a nether portal like I showed you earlier, we don't accidentally link up with the subway portals that we've already got. So we're going to have to be very careful where we put them. And because I want my storage to come out over here, it makes sense to have a portal here where the items can go in and out. And that means we need to link it properly. Now, this is currently Y level 85. The portals for these in the Nether are actually Y level 10. If I was to put a portal at Y level 85 in the Nether, even if these weren't close to it horizontally, they're going to link to that instead, and that's going to confuse my monorail. So I'm going to have to be really careful here, assuming that we pick this block here, which is 739 by 1106. And in the Nether, that equates to exactly this spot that I'm standing on here, which is slap bang in between these portals. Now, these portals are currently on Y level 10, like I said. So, if I build the next one on this next layer up here, we might get away with it, but I think my subway is going to connect to the wrong ones. But there's only one way to find out. Let's just build a little nether portal in here. Let's get it lit. Go back through one of our existing ones so that we can build another one in here, and then we can get that one lit. And now if I go through this, hopefully I'll come out at that one. I did. That was perfect. Right, let's go back in and see if we come out at the right one. I did. But now I'm pretty sure if I go through this one, I'm going to come out at the wrong one. Yep. I absolutely did. I came out at that and not the one down there. That is a problem. But it's okay, because I've got a plan. And that plan absolutely sucks, because it involves completely destroying my nether tunnels for my monorail, getting rid of all the hard work I've done, and building a much more extensive, much longer line under the overworld, all the way to the shopping area and my starter base as well. And that is going to take an awful long time, but it's also going to make me incredibly rich. And that's because in order to make my new tunnels, I'm going to be taking my tunnel bore down to the very bottom of the world where all of the diamonds are and taking it all the way along this route, all the way over to the shopping area. That means that by the time I've finished running my tunnel bore along the bottom of the world to get all of the way here, I should have even more diamonds than Mr. Beardstone. And once again, I will be the richest member on this server. I've just got to do it. And in order to do it, I've got to pick a route that doesn't interfere with anyone else's base areas. And that's going to be quite tricky because there's a lot of people on this server. But there's no time like the present. Let's dig. But digging's not going to be quite as easy as you might think. And that's because my start point is actually up in this mountain. If we just look through this wall, you will see where the nether portal is that we need to connect to. Of course, that nether portal is going to disappear, but this is where my station is, and that's the monorail, and we've got to get from that point all the way to the bottom of the world without accidentally coming through here, without destroying Chosen's base, and without running into any of the other infrastructure that people have put down here underground that we could end up running into. And that is going to be tricky. And we're going to have to do the same thing over at my new main base area and the shopping area, because both of those are pretty much at the grass level as well, and not at the bottom of the world. So the only way I can really see of doing this, instead of just using my tunnel bore raw to dig through the bottom of the world, we're actually going to have to lay the monorail line and see where we can make it go. Now, fortunately, we don't actually need to go all the way along this bit here. We can start dipping down from as far back as here because our monorail car fits within this space. So if I was to break a whole bunch of this monorail here, I now need to figure out what the maximum vertical curve I can create is to avoid popping out the side of the mountain. I think the sensible thing to start with is to just start digging down at a 45-degree angle, rather than using maths or, clever ways of dealing with this. And we need to get as low down into the world as we absolutely can. Stop it, trying to dig. Not even got down to 0 yet. And I can already see on the map at this point, I've actually gone into Chosen's area. Hey, will you stop it? But hopefully he won't mind a little dinky tunnel underneath his base. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. What could possibly go wrong? Ah! Oh no, this is my mine. That's fine. That's okay. I dug this bit out. Apparently under Chosen's base, but I need to keep going. And now that we've come down at roughly a 45-degree angle, I need to try and place my monorail, but it says I'm too far away, so I actually need to go back up this jankiest little tunnel that I've made until I can get to a point where it's not too far away. And it's all the way back up here. Jeez. Okay, so that's as far as we can get, but if I was to place it there, like that, we now have a very vertical looking monorail coming all the way down, and it will supposedly connect to our other bit, although bits of it are well, geez, that's a steep curve, but at least we know we can do it without popping out the mountain. That's good. I am going to have to clear a lot of blocks so we can actually, make the monorail not have gaps in it, but in theory this is going to work. That didn't go quite how I expected. Oh, I'm back at spawn. Oh, jeez. Oh, I don't have my jetpack. Got to be a little bit careful here. How am I oh, jeez. Well, things were going quite well. I've managed to get this monorail track actually a reasonable distance down this hole, and I just got to this point here where I'm actually extending it even further. Oh no, it's happened again. Oh, jeez, and again. There's going to be a warning in a minute. Oh, jeez. There's not a lot I can do about it. I need to just keep digging. Oh, there's the third one. I don't want there to be a warden. I just keep going. What could go wrong? Maybe they're just fake shriekers. Oh no, that's a warden. Run away! I can't run away fast enough. It's too dude, I can't do it. The tunnel is too janky. And there we go, I've now made it down to the bottom of the world, past that smelly warden, and we now have a monorail track going all the way up to where we need it to go. So this is going to make my life a whole bunch easier, because all I've got to do is basically dig in a straight line for a while, till I get to a point where I can actually go diagonally between the two areas and then cut across. Okay, I'm now working back from the other direction. I've started over at my subway, brought the monorail down as far as I can, with the hopes to get the exact coordinate of where I hit the very bottom of the world, so that I can then create a diagonal that comes across to my existing line right up over here. However, as things don't always go as I expect, I of course have arrived at the ancient city. I've already dealt with 2 wardens today. I'm now going to be dealing with many, many more, because I need to bring this line all the way down through this ancient city, right underneath it. Not too far. But then I've got to dig underneath an ancient city for a long, long way through Deep Slate. This, yeah. Oh, jeez, I always get the best jobs. No, you don't? No, I don't, do I? There's a chest here that I've not got before. Ooh, free stuff. We'll take it. Then we'll just keep going, staircasing down. I mean, nothing's gone off yet. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, and there's a new warden. Right, well, before you get me, warden, I want that. Oh, I can't see. And then I need to run. Where's my staircase? I can't see anything. Where's my staircase gone? Even the map's not useful. Where'd you put my staircase, warden? There it is. Run away. You know when you think you've got a nice quick job to do and it takes forever? At least I can hide in this monorail. You'll never find me now, stinky warden face. And now what I can do is actually fly around here without making any... Oh, jeez, it's happened again. Hello, sir. No, thank you. Run away. No. Where's my... Oh, I can't get away from him because I can't find my staircase. I do not want to die down here. Just go down, just fly away in a random direction, wait for my sight to come back. Ah, there we go. Right, where's my staircase? Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Go to sleep! It's a good job I've got all of the time in the world. Aha! He's going to sleep. Excellent. Good. Okay, I've made it down to the bottom, so let's throw down the monorail. That has connected. And that means that this point here is where I need to start my diagonal. And there we go. That's the sharpest diagonal we can get. So we're going to be going around that corner, and then we just need to go in this direction until my line meets up with my other one. Oh dear. Who didn't see that coming? Oh no. I really need to set my spawn near my base. I was miles away. Well, I've done it. I've managed to get the monorail to connect all the way from my starter base, all the way over to my new base area. That means it's time to take my tunnel maker, which has captured a bat apparently, and turn it into a big old tunnel bore. And in order to do that, I'm going to grab it from here and throw it on over here, ride it down to the next portal without going through the portal. Then I can pick it up again, go through these and pop it down there, and then I can drive it all the way back to my starter base. However, it is going to get stuck because the starter base hasn't got any track anymore. Now, if I extend the monorail that's down here and join it back over here, I should be able to move the whole thing through, even though half of it's still stuck in the nether portal. I can. Wonderful. Now I can get rid of this monorail track again, get rid of that one, and now we just need to decorate this once again to make it drill big old tunnels. But this time I don't actually want it to decorate the tunnels as we're drilling, and that's because we're going to need a much bigger tunnel than we had before, because if you remember from my last video, my actual subway car doesn't quite fit through these tight corners, so we're going to need to go bigger. And here it is! I've added on a whole bunch more storage to the back because we're going to be collecting a lot of blocks, and I've added a whole bunch more drills and deployers onto the front of this thing, and yes, it's going to make an absolute mess of my base before we even get anywhere, but I don't care because that's going to be easy enough to tidy up. So without further ado, let's sit in the seat, activate the drills and the deployers. Oh, make sure we're not going to destroy the stations. We're going to destroy the stations. I should move those. And let's get digging again. So I haven't done enough digging today. Well, as you can see behind me, I have run out of blocks. My tunnel decorating machine has no more blocks and can't continue this pattern. And that's a little bit annoying, because if we look at the map, I've still got a whole bunch of tunnel to do, and this is only half of it. I haven't even begun to dig out the other side of the subway yet, and unfortunately I just don't think I'm going to get round to doing that today. But as you can see, this tunnel does go on a long way. It is decorated pretty much the entire way down. There's no lighting in it yet, so things can spawn in here. Apart from right at the very end, where I have put some lights going up the stairs. Right now I've actually got my full bright mod on, so it's very bright. But if I turn that down to normal levels, this is how moody it's going to be. And I want it to be moody because I want it to be like a deep, dark subway, which is why I've gone for a different block palette from the one that we had previously. In terms of the block palette, I can buy more iron. That's really not going to be a problem, but this also uses basalt and blackstone, which I've just about completely run out of. So I've got a lot of work to do off camera between episodes, but before we go, how rich am I now? Well, let's have a look. My tunnel bore managed to dig out a stack and a half of diamonds, and I managed to grab a stack and a half of deep slate diamond ore. But how many diamonds is that? Well, let's find out. It's a pretty tall tower, and digging it down with my Fortune 4 pickaxe gives me another nearly 4 stacks of diamonds, and putting those in the bank brings me up to 3,362 diamonds, which is still over 1,000 short of Mr. Beardstone. So hopefully by the time I've dug the other tunnel out all the way over here, I should be just about equal with him, if not a little bit richer.